So, with so many online bullion dealers out there, it can be easy for some to overlook your local coin shops. But here's the real truth for me that I've learned in my roughly a decade of stacking, is that the personal relationships that you make really do matter and can mean quite a bit of difference in your success when it comes to stacking. So, when it comes to stacking or investing in physical gold and silver or platinum, those personal connections and relationships that you develop at your local coin shop can be kind of a great tool in your toolbox for your overall success in stacking precious metals. So, if you haven't guessed, today I'm going to be talking about some of the advantages of going to the local coin shop and building a good relationship with your local coin shops. And I'm going to talk about the why, kind of why you should care, and the how of how to actually build those relationships. Um, so, First of all, if you are enjoying this vid, if you want more content like this, like and subscribe for more stacking content. And also let me know in the comments any other topics you would like me to cover. So first, really quick, I'm going to define what I mean when I say a local coin shop. So I'm not talking about cash for gold places. I'm not talking about pawn shops. I'm not talking about jewelry stores. I'm talking about local coin shops that deal with precious metals, bullion, coins, and they typically buy and sell. And that is what they focus on. So it's different than a pawn shop where they're dealing with all sorts of stuff, different than jewelry stores, although local coin shops may have jewelry. So let's get into it. So, firstly, uh, let's get into the why. So why build relationships with local coin shops? Like, why should you care if you can just go on dealers online or eBay and get whatever? So number one, loyal customers that kind of come in consistently will often get, I guess you could call it perks, like lower premiums when buying, better prices than selling. So it's kind of obvious, but you get better deals, especially over time as you really get to know those people and they get to know you. Uh, for example, just give a quick anecdote here. Uh, at one of the local coin shops that I go to, I go in pretty regularly. I know their names, they know me. And like for example, one time I asked for some Canadian maple leaves, and they gave me a bunch of reverse proof privy ones for the same price as regular maple leaves. And I was kind of the first time that happened, I was a little dumbfounded. I was like, well, thank you, but why? And they're just like, well, I like talking to you. So, it's good. So the second big reason, aside from better deals, I mean, that is really if you are a repeat customer and you get to know these people, they're gonna like you as long as you're a somewhat likable person. Um, it's gonna be good for you financially, I suppose. At least that's how it's worked out for me. Second reason is that it's kind of a knowledge hub. So you talk to the staff or the owner, and they can give you a lot of insight into what is popular at that specific shop or what is popular in your local area. Or because a lot of these people have been in business for, 20, 30 years. Some of these shops have been in families since the 1950s, if not older. Like they really know this business. So they can kind of help guide you, especially if you're newer. But even as an experienced stacker, there's always things that you can learn. And, there's knowledge about that, the kind of market, but there's also knowledge about, specific coins, bars, rounds that you just may not be super familiar with that can kind of pop up. And like, for example, uh, I didn't really know much about non-bullion gold until I started going to a certain coin shop. And it's like, oh, these Austrian ducats or these florins or whatever. I don't know too much about them. And, talk to the guy and, I learned quite a bit. So knowledge is the second reason of why. And then we kind of get to trust, like the trust in, I would call it trust in networking. So trust is very critical in the precious metals market. Um, Obviously, you want to know your metals real. So shops kind of tend to prioritize trusted customers where, every time if you're coming in to sell, the fact that your stuff is real and you're being just a truthful, honest person with them. And don't worry, we're gonna get into the hows, like right, and we're kind of on the whys right now. But you can become friendly. You can become pretty much good, friendly enough with the owners or the workers there. Um, and you can that can open up a decent amount of opportunities. Just the fact that they trust you. And I will give an anecdote. Actually, no, I should say that for the how, but I'll give it now. So for example, one time I sold some gold and the guy did the math wrong. And, it was like he probably gave me $100 more than he really should have. Uh, so I didn't even notice until I got home. Next time I went into the shop, I was like, hey, you overpaid me, for this gold piece. So like, let's make it even over the next, couple purchases I make. Like, here's some of the money now. Here's like $50. And over the next two purchases, just kind of added on there. And although I guess I, gave him back the money, I could have just taken the money and run. But doing that built so much trust that I was getting very good deals where the guy would actually call me, and I'd kind of get priority treatment. So that's a good example of how trust goes a long way. So number four, there's a big advantage to if you're in the local coin shop scene, I guess. If there are more than one decent local coin shop, which we can talk about good versus not so great local shops, that's a topic for another video. Let me know if you'd like to see that. But different shops have unique inventories, unique different specialties, and different pricings for certain things. Like one shop may have amazing prices on 90% silver, if you're buying from them. But then another shop may have, not so great prices on 90% silver, but they have a much better price on gold bullion. So it helps to, number one, like get those better pricings, unique different inventories that different shops will have. And it kind of just broadens your network, gives you more opportunities, and kind of diversifies your relationships in a way. So now that I've kind of talked about the whole why, so basically to recap that, why you get better deals, you get more knowledge, you develop a trust and like a network with trust. I'll put it that way. And just visiting multiple stores it diversifies all of the above. So now we're going to get into the how, like how to build relationships. And number one, very easy. Do business with them, buy from them. It doesn't have to be that much. Think of it from the perspective of a business. Like if you're coming in, on a consistent basis, I think consistency, and it doesn't have to be every week. It can be once a month, something like that. It doesn't have to be all the time, but enough to know where the people get to know you and you talk to them and all of that. Even if you don't want to spend too much, if you make small, consistent purchases, they're going to remember you. You can come in by two mercury dimes or a $50 or 1 ounce, depending on what your finances are like. I'm kind of going on the low end just to make this apply to everybody, but you can make those small purchases as long as you're consistently kind of seeing the same people and talking to them. I think consistency, in my opinion, and in my experience, the consistency matters way more than making large transactions. So I would keep that in mind. And just a reminder, this is all for my personal experience. None of this should be taken as serious financial advice, which you should never look at YouTube for that anyway. But anyway, so number two of how is like engage with the staff, start conversations with them, ask questions, share your goals for your stacking journey. Like be genuine about it, show your genuine interest, and you'll build rapport with these people. You'll get to know them, they'll get to know what you're all about, you'll get to know what they're all about, and that will help you build that relationship, which means you're going to get better deals and you're going to get more knowledge about stuff. Like it's going to be good. So yeah, just be friendly, be yourself, don't be weird. So this kind of segues into, I guess, number three of the hows, like respect their business. Avoid excessive haggling, especially at first. When you get to know a person pretty well, then it might change shop to shop. Treat the shop fairly, realize that they have overhead, and often like, just be like a normal person. Don't be a weird guy. I feel like that should go without saying, but maybe will overthink it. So I don't know. So just treat them fairly and you'll build a good relationship. Don't undercut their business. Don't try and play two shops against each other in a weird way. I mean, you can obviously call two different shops, ask around for prices, but I wouldn't do a weird thing where you are going to one shop and then telling them this other shop and then going back to the other shop and doing it 6 times. Like, yeah, just avoid weird stuff like that. And if somebody's at the counter trying to sell something, don't jump in and be like, "Hey, I'll actually pay you more for that," and undercut their business because they're going to pretty much hate you. Just be a normal person, use common sense. So just to kind of recap the hows. So, visit regularly, make consistent purchases. I think the biggest one is like engaging with the staff, starting conversations, asking questions, share your stacking goals, and just be genuine about your interest for stacking because these people that work at these shops, most of them are kind of like us stackers when it comes to precious metals. They have their own stack, they have their own preferences for certain coins, and you can have a lot of good conversations. Part of it is just it's good good conversation as well while you're there. So anyway, I think that pretty much goes over a brief kind of recap of this. Um, I would definitely, I do want to touch on before I kind of get to the end of this. I personally like to go to multiple local coin shops because although many have been in business since the 50s and are family owned, like there is a local coin shop near me that I go to or that I used to go to that just recently closed down. So that can happen too. So if you're only going to that one shop and the guy, he retires and closes up, then you gotta diversify. Go to different shops and build go to different shops, build that relationship with different shops just in case something happens or an ownership change happens where it's not optimal. It helps to diversify in that way as well. So I would say if your exit plan for stacking at all includes a local coin shop, I would really consider all of this in building relationships with them. And even if you plan on holding on to all of your metals and passing them on to somebody, it can help having a relationship with these shops. And you can write in your will or your notes or whatever with your stack to whomever you're passing it down to, like, hey, talk to this person at this shop. Mention my name after I'm gone, that type of thing. And that can even help, the people you're passing your stuff on to. So, anyway, guys, this is my first non-podcast video I'm putting on YouTube, or it should be. So if you enjoyed this, like, comment, share with your friends, share with your family, do all that great YouTube stuff, smash that like button, and comment on what other topics you'd like me to cover. And also, this is my first one kind of looking at you doing it in this format. So give me a little bit of slack. Hopefully I'll get better at it. But yeah. So thanks for listening, everybody, slash watching. Happy stacking. And I hope you guys go out to your local coin shops with this stuff in mind. And I hope it helps somebody out. And hopefully my experience and my opinions can have a good effect. But all right. Love you guys. Have a very good one and keep stacking.